This is Attorney Mike Grevlin coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today I've got kind of an interesting one. I did a couple recent videos. One was called Sovereign Citizen Traffic Fail number 28, and the other was Sovereign Citizen Court Fail number 14. And I didn't realize as I did the second one that I think it's related to the first one. And I'm going to put links to both of those in the description below. But today we're going to do a little something called David Rodriguez, Sovereign Citizen. Let's do this. I got an inkling that these two videos were about the same guy, and I did a little research, but I couldn't confirm it. It seems to be confirmed by my comments, and I also want to give a special thanks to Stroke Assaulter, who sent me this video. The setup here is that we've got not David Rodriguez, but a supporter of his. Apparently, he's in jail right now, if he is to be believed, and that would make sense. He's got a supporter out. Basically, it looks like he's fundraising for him, and that's where we take this. So I'm going to show you a couple of clips from those two videos just to give you a little context, and then we'll go into it. Oh, here we go.
Hey, David.
All right, David.
Stay out of jail.
Okay, so I think this guy is the same one that appears in this next clip in Zoom court and also in today's clip.
It's on the record, Mr. Rodriguez.
So out of necessity, I answer to that name, David Rodriguez. But in doing so, I reserve my rights and waive all benefits and privileges. And I'm only here under duress and threat to menace. And,
okay, Mr. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and then you guys can share this, hopefully, with as many people and groups as possible. For those who don't know, I'm Mike Mattingly. I've been following what's going on with David's court proceedings very closely and have known intimately what is going on.
Okay, so this is the David Rodriguez we've been talking about, who I believe is the David Rodriguez who was jumping off the tow truck in one of my prior videos, and also made a Zoom appearance, but he just has a static picture that I think is outdated. This is a supporter of his, sort of speaking on his behalf, because apparently he's in jail right now.
So far, and just to be clear, I am not an attorney, and this is not legal advice, but there is some things that we can do. I'm going to just go ahead and read this. It came from courtroomwatch.org. They summarized it very nicely so that people who don't know what's going on with David Rodriguez can find out right now. So David James Rodriguez is a peaceful, freedom-oriented activist in Santa Cruz, California. If you'd like to get to know more about him, visit Dave on one of his many YouTube channels, Freedom Lovers Show. David is a homeschool advisor, educator, advocate for unmasking, reopening the beaches, and much more. He even set up a space on the coast to offer voluntary free hugs to counteract social distancing oppression.
Okay, that's fine. I don't really have a problem with any of that. You may or may not disagree with those positions, but that's not crazy, but that's not why he's in jail, and that's what I'm trying to get to. Even the video I did with his Zoom appearance, they just sent the code provisions, which apparently, and I'm getting this from my own comments, but I think it's right, is that he was charged with resisting arrest. That is consistent with also the video where he's trying to not have his car towed, but that's what he's in for, and then they try to sort of mask all this over with whatever his causes are.
Okay, David has been targeted by the district attorney Jeffrey Roselle.
Now this is tough because I haven't seen it. When they say targeted by, that just means my guess is he just violated the law. He's been arrested, and now they're prosecuting. That doesn't mean that prosecutors can't step over the line or anything, but I don't see any evidence for that. I don't, if there is, show it to me. I'm willing to look at it. But if I have this right, this is a guy who just breaks the law and is now suffering consequences from his breaking the law.
and Judge Nancy De La Pena, as well as Chief Andy Mills and Sheriff Jim Hart, all government officials in Santa Cruz. That seems pretty accurate to me, what's happening. That.
Well, it's not accurate. It's an opinion. You're characterizing them as targeting him. You've given no evidence to that whatsoever. From what I've seen, this guy's violated the law and he's being prosecuted for it, which is appropriate. In fact, it's their job.
Judge, let's see. Judge Nancy De La Pena, Chief Andy Mills, Jim Hart, all government officials in Santa Cruz County at a review hearing on June 30th, 2021 at 3 p.m. in Department 1. David was ambushed by Judge Nancy De La Pena, District Attorney Jeffrey Scott Roselle.
Again, I mean, this illustrates the point. He was ambushed. He went into court and people were in there fulfilling their roles. I mean, ambush implies sort of a physical altercation where you're grabbed. That is just not what I think happened. If that's what happened, let's see it. Show us that he was ambushed. And that's just how slanted everything is here. I'm having a hard time because this guy, like he said up front, he's not an attorney. He clearly doesn't know anything about the law. He's not very educated in these sorts of things. But I do think he's sincere. I think he's trying to do what he thinks is right. So I'm having a hard time beating up on him. But still, right is right. You know that ambushed is a loaded term that probably does not fairly describe what happened.
Assistant District Attorney Brian Pearson, City Attorney Stephanie Duck, who all conspired, adding false new criminal claims that can not be
conspired, added false claims. Again, let's have some specifics. Let's have some evidence. That sort of thing can happen. That's what courts are for. But all it is bald accusations and loaded language.
Provided they cannot provide a victim or probable cause to remand.
Just lost all your credibility. Don't need to provide a victim. It's not required. If you think that, then it's hard to take anything else you say seriously.
To take him into custody without bond by Judge Nancy De La Pena. The charges are minor accusations of peaceful disobedience, and yet Judge Nancy De La Pena ordered him to.
Okay, so now he just characterizes David Rodriguez's behavior as minor. You know, it's no big thing. You know, they ambush and he does minor things of civil disobedience. All of that is your opinion. Those aren't facts. That's not allowing anybody to judge this situation fairly.
To be held without bail. Clear violation of California state constitution, which provides for bail in all circumstances other.
I don't know if that's true. He's claiming that he's being held without bail. I don't know if that's true. I seriously doubt his credibility on anything he says because he just made a bunch of accusations without backing them up and said things like you need to show a victim, and that's simply not right. But you know, he may or may not be being held. I don't know. We'll find out.
Than capital offenses. Okay, so what David, he had gone into this court hearing to get ready to go to trial. He has been convicted of no crimes.
Yeah, that's usually the deal before trial.
Okay, the man has not been convicted of any crimes. De La Pena accused him of not being mentally fit to defend himself, which he had been doing.
Assuming he's the guy in the court appearance that I already did a video on, that's a serious consideration. He was not making sense. And they were discussing a Friday inquiry, and that's an old case from the 70s, Friday versus the state of California. I've looked it up because of prior videos, and there's a list of questions they want to go through to make sure you're competent to act as your own attorney. She
gave him a public defender after clearing the court so no one could witness what was going on.
I wanted to see that court appearance, but didn't. They either didn't do it on Zoom or apparently, if what he's saying is correct, they did it in a cleared courtroom. That wouldn't surprise me. That could be done in the judge's discretion, and there's nothing wrong with it.
And then that public defender put in an agreement with David apparently. Whether David agreed to this or not, I don't actually know. The courtroom had been cleared, so it was just him and the judge and all the attorneys. So he had an agreement to do a mental evaluation. Well, during that mental evaluation, we'll see what happens. But from what I'm
this is minor. I think he just probably doesn't understand it. It's not a matter of agreement. The judge is saying we have to go through this inquiry if you want to represent yourself. If not, I'm appointing somebody for you.
understanding, they're asking him what is going on and what his court defense is going to be, as if that has something to do with a mental evaluation.
Once again, you already said you weren't an attorney, and here it shows again. It has everything to do with it, whether or not you're competent to present a defense. And if you're going to sit there and spew soft-sit nonsense that has no basis in the law, the judge is going to come to the conclusion you're not.
So anyways, right now he's being held with no bond and solitary confinement.
I'm skeptical of that, but it's possible. I don't know.
He's only allowed outside for 3 hours a week. That includes phone calls and showers, from what I gather. He has been denied access to the LPS writ of habeas corpus. Now, this writ is a prison form. He is supposed to be given it if he asks for it. He's asked for it every day since he's been in there. He's now in there, I believe this is day 13. So he's been in there for 13 days, and I think...
Honestly, I don't do criminal law, or I haven't for over 20 years when I was a prosecutor. I highly doubt that what he's saying is correct.
From the second week, we started asking, informing him that he should have asked for that writ so he can get a hearing. After that, we're going to get a notary to come in there so he could do some work. So
I was trying to get through this video without laughing. I really was. I'm trying to take this one seriously, but I can't. We were trying to get a notary in there. To do what? What is a notary going to do?
So he could file some papers and get them documented. We gave the public defender a form saying that, will we accept you as his defending counsel on the grounds that you promised to protect all of his rights.
Great idea. Let's take the one person in the room with a brain that could actually help defend him and offend him with this nonsense. Oh, Lord. The public defender does not need to make side agreements with anybody else. They have an attorney-client relationship, and that's between them. They don't have to sign agreements with you.
Constitutional as well as civil and any other rights that he may have. She has refused to sign this.
As any rational attorney would.
We then we're going to bring in a notary. So the notary that we wanted to have brought in, they went through a 3-day investigation into her background, and they decided that she didn't qualify. Now we've been asking for any notary. They won't allow a notary in for anybody named David James Rodriguez.
And probably anybody else. You really just don't get to summon people into your jail cell. That's part of the problem of being in jail.
He was denied books. He requested. He was only given crayons to write with.
I'm sorry. Did they take a swing line too?
After they relented, they had deprived him of paper, and then they let him have paper.
Again, deprived him of paper. I don't know. Do people just have reams of paper in jail? That's not my understanding, but maybe.
And as of yesterday, there's no notary allowed in, so he can't do any of the procedures we want to do. Obviously, they're listening on the phone to everything he says, and he has harmed no one. He's not been convicted.
Again, thanks for the conclusory thoughts, but a little proof would be nice.
The action plan at this point is to come to the courthouse at 8 o'clock on Wednesday and pack those steps. Let people know that you're there. Bring signs that let people know that there's a political prisoner being held across the street from the court. Then you can call Sheriff Hart and remind him of his oath that he's
Yeah, that'll work out great.
Supposed to defend all enemies, foreign and domestic, against depriving people of their rights. And that includes courthouse officials, jail officials, judges, and attorneys. You can fax Judge Nancy De La Pena. They released David right now. Call the bishop, because apparently the bishop has pull in Santa Cruz County. His name is Daniel Garcia. You can call, I'm not sure what the chief of police's phone number is. It's Andy Mills. You can call him and do this every day.
And there you have it. Just sleazy as it gets. We don't believe in the rule of law. We believe in mob rule. If we cry and kick and scream more, then we get our way. That means we can break the law. We can park where we want. We can do what we want. We don't have to register our vehicles. We're not subject to the law because we're going to call and harass people. Please.
Every single day until David is out. They're holding him. He's supposed to get 2 medical evaluations in order to move forward. And they're asking about his plans of defense for this. How that has anything to do with determining your mental acuity is beyond me.
It has everything to do with mounting a defense in a case. And that's what they're concerned with. And that's the law. And that's what they should be concerned with.
And I went to Judge De La Pena's court the other day. And in the hearing, she was trying to get a Zoom presentation to go of a different judge giving the rules. And she couldn't figure it out. And she said, man, are they changing this every week? I do this every couple days. I don't know if they're changing this or if I'm just becoming more and more incompetent every week. This is the judge who declared David Rodriguez to be incompetent. She doesn't.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. These judges didn't go to law school to study Zoom mechanics. This was foisted upon them later. I don't know if this is a good judge or a bad judge or anything in between, but my suspicion is that the judge is fine and was having problems with a new app that they had to learn later on. They also are self-aware enough to know what they're good at and what they're not.
She's incompetent. I mean, this is ridiculous. She needs to step down right now. So at this point, that's the action plan. Show up. I'll put up a GoFundMe page. We're filing. We're already.
I think that's ultimately the action plan right there. I don't know, but I think that all this is a racket, and that's the ultimate goal right there. Is the GoFundMe page.
Writing the complaint for the Title 42 lawsuit against all of these people. By the way, we've been notating and collecting all the evidence. You guys are blowing it. You better let David go. If you're just a side player on this and you know that crimes are being committed against David Rodriguez, you might want to get him out of there because it's all documented. Everything's documented. So we're going to need some funding.
Of course you are.
For this Title 42 lawsuit.
Which is meritless and going nowhere.
Already being put together out of our own pockets. At this point, we're paying an expert on Title 42 lawsuits to begin.
I am curious who their expert on Title 42 lawsuits is. Notice he did not use the word attorney or lawyer. I really do fear that their expert might be Kirk Pendergrass.
He was going to give us a seminar. Instead, he's going to use this as the seminar.
Mm-hmm.
And just show up. This is what's going to happen to anyone in our community who stands against this stuff. So we might as well stop it right here and right now. David's put his neck on the line many times for us.
He parked in a place he wasn't supposed to with the vehicle that wasn't registered nor insured. I don't know if that's really putting his neck out for other people or just, being cheap and self-absorbed.
And we're all under this fire. Do your part. Share if you can. Please do. Let everyone know.
I'm sharing right here on Law Talk with Mike.
to all the groups, anybody who's in a freedom group, let everyone know. We have an affidavit of fact about David James of the Rodriguez clan, and if you've known him...
Oh, wait a second. This is new. It's usually an affidavit of truth. Now we've got an affidavit of fact. Bum, bum, bum.
Or had conversations with him, or been a part of another group that talks to him or does seminars with him, this affidavit is what we're using in Santa Cruz County for people who know David Rodriguez to confirm that he is of sound mind. And anybody who fills this out, it has to be truthful. You don't need to lie. Don't make something up, because if you do, you're putting yourself at risk, and there's no point in making stuff up that doesn't speak truth. This movement is about truth. These people hate the truth. It's been a long, crazy day. I had to get my phone fixed, so it's late. As usual, things go crazy, and we come away with a way to overcome it. So we will overcome this, and I'll put some stuff in the comments and let you know where our fundraiser's at. It's being fundraised by Howard Lichtman. The money's going to David's mom. And we're going to fund this Title 42 lawsuit. If you're familiar with somebody who's a specialist in Title 42 lawsuits who'd like to assist as a side player, we would love to hear from you. If you do this affidavit...
yeah, that's going to get a great pool of applicants. They don't believe in attorneys, and they want to get somebody who wants to work for free on a Title 42 lawsuit, whatever that is.
Please send it to Free David R. That's capital FREEDAVIDR, the letter. If you send that, I'm trying to get those submitted to the court tomorrow so that they can appear in his defense on Wednesday. And if you can come to the court on Wednesday, we're going to have a notary on the steps. You can bring your affidavit of truth about David Rodriguez.
There we go.
And we'll notate it. We'll have her notate it. And then it'll be an affidavit form, which is the strength of the Secretary of State. So it's their own documents at that point.
The strength of the Secretary of State. What the hell does that mean?
All right, everyone. Be free.
Well, there you have it. That was a wild ride. Lots of crazy in that one. I'm a little torn. I can't figure out if he's just misguided and got himself in a bunch of trouble and is trying to dig himself out through his supporters, or if he's just a grifter from the get, and this whole thing is designed to get arrested and solicit donations. Well, give me your thoughts in the comments below, and if I get any new information on this, I'll update it. Here at Law Talk, we like to have fun with silly stuff that happens in court, and every once in a while, and completely by accident, I assure you, you might learn something. Thanks for watching.